Hello and welcome to ILTV's Israel Daily. I'm Aaron Porras, and coming up in today's newscast, Israeli security services on high alert as tensions continue rising and as at least 10 terror attacks are reportedly foiled since the start of Ramadan. Meantime, Ukraine responding to Moscow's propaganda and denials of human rights abuses with disturbing video evidence. And finally, the UN Human Rights Council addressing one of the wolves in its henhouse. This as Russia now expected to be stripped of its membership. Israel on high alert as Ramadan continuing with its first week. Police and security services increasingly clashing with would-be worshippers in Jerusalem and suspected terrorists in Judea and Samaria. ILTV's Marnie Shamroth reporting.
Yet another evening following Ramadan prayers marred by violent clashes near the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. At least 5 Palestinians reportedly injured and several more arrested as police operating to keep the peace. But security forces still largely pulling their punches in comparison to previous years. Authorities saying that they're preparing for any eventuality, but working to create as little friction as possible during protests and even riots, like those seen around Jerusalem's Damascus Gate. This under concerns that even a small incident could ignite a multi-front conflict across the country, as was seen last May during the war with Hamas in Gaza. Especially in the wake of the latest series of the terror attacks last month, which resulted in the deaths of 11 Israelis and the injury of dozens, and ahead of the, quote, eventful months ahead. The Muslim holy month of Ramadan overlapping with other religious festivals including Easter, Passover, and the Druze Ziyarat al-Nabu Shuyab, and several secular observances that have been marred by tensions in the past likewise on that way, including Israeli Memorial Day and Independence Day, which the Palestinians mark as the Nakba or catastrophe. But again, while trying to maintain calm, security forces still very active behind the scenes. The IDF killing or arresting multiple suspected terrorists and reportedly foiling at least 10 terror attacks in the past 2 weeks alone. And also hundreds of guns taken off the streets. Police uncovering a massive arms cache buried under a home in the Bedouin town of Lakia and arresting the 45-year-old homeowner.
קיבלנו אינדיקציה מודיעינית על הימצאות אמל"ח בלתי חוקי שנמצא עמוק בתוך האדמה. הגענו והשתמשנו בעצם במחפרון על מנת לחפור את האמל"ח הבלתי חוקי. במהלך החיפוש נמצאו 2 חביות בהן נמצאים כמאות פריטי אמל"ח.
Among the weapons found, 10 fully built M16s and hundreds of parts for automatic rifles, pistols, a sniper rifle, and more. This as Operation Wavebreaker or Breakwater gaining speed, and in tandem with continued efforts to combat the growing spread of violent crime in the Arab-Israeli sector.
And now with more on Israel's ongoing security challenges, former Director General of the Ministry for Strategic Affairs and Senior Fellow at the JCPA or Jerusalem Center for Public Affairs, Brigadier General in the Reserves, Yossi Cooper-Wasser. General, thank you so much for being with us. Now, Israel is supposedly treading lightly with police action to avoid sparking larger conflict. Do you agree with this approach, and do you think Israel is going about it in the right way?
Well, yes, I think by now the approach taken by the government is the right approach. We should not push the Palestinians into a point where they have to take action. And we would like to see calm during the month of Ramadan, during the holidays that are coming, the Jewish holidays. And yes, this is the right way to do it. On the one hand, very strict measures in order to prevent terror attacks and taking the battle to the areas where the terrorists are coming from. We see all the operations in northern Judea and Samaria and in other places. And at the same time, when in these sensitive areas of near the holy sites, trying to be firm, but to avoid escalation.
All right, well, Hamas is also apparently trying to avoid a larger conflict as opposed to last year by even preventing Islamic Jihad terrorists from firing rockets over the weekend. What does this mean for the chances of a larger conflict over the coming weeks and holidays?
It means that none of the parties really want an escalation. But that doesn't guarantee that there's not going to be an escalation, because not everybody controls the situation. And especially in friction areas like Jerusalem.
To watch full episodes of ILTV's Israel Daily and tons of other content from Israel, visit our website at iltv.tv or download the ILTV Plus app.